Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger, my friends. This video is going to be my guide to helping you understand the art of team building in the King of Fighters 15. King of Fighters is the original team-based fighting game, and you have to pick 3 characters in this game. Now, in a lot of ways, it can be as simple as picking the 3 characters you like, let's go, but there's a lot of art of where everyone needs to go. You have 3 positions. We have point, the first character, mid, the second character, and the anchor, the final character. And how you arrange that team, well, there's a lot of stuff to it. So that said, let's talk about one of the bigger aspects immediately, which is meter. Meter is the life of the King of Fighters games. And when you start a match, your first character's up, you got exactly no meter. So, you can still do all your normals, you can do your special moves, super moves, EX moves, maybe not so much. So it stands to reason then a character who's up first maybe is a character that doesn't need meter as much. Everyone likes meter, don't get me wrong. Every character in the game likes to have meter. But maybe the point character, they can do fine just without. Like, let's use Terry Bogard as an example here. So easy hit confirm combos off a light, didn't need to spend any meter at all. Respectable damage, over 200 damage, very respectable for a basic hit confirm combo. So Terry is a character that doesn't need meter to get damage on the board. He can definitely use it for sure, but he doesn't need it. Now, obviously enough, over the course of fighting, you hitting the enemy, you getting hit yourself, all that kind of stuff, the meter will build over time. But the thing is, every time you lose a character in the King of Fighters 15, you also gain meter. The first character of a team can only ever have a maximum of 3 bars. That's it. Cannot go any further. Even if you just do more damage, do more moves, all that kind of stuff, 3 bars is the max. The second character has a cap of 4 meters. The final character has a cap of 5 meters. And every time you lose a character, the cap goes up and you also get a free bar. So right now here with Terry, if I had 2 meters and I died and my next character came up, I would now have 3 meters because I'm given a meter for losing a character, and the cap would now be increased to 4 meters. So it's reasonable enough to assume that characters down the line will have more meter to play with, but you're also given more meter for those characters. So the characters number 2 and number 3, those are the characters that generally want to spend meter more than the first character. Like a character like Antonov. Antonov, he's not someone you would usually want to put up front because he's a very meter hungry character. He likes having as much meter as possible. Like, just say a basic crouching like combo, right? For Antonov, he needs meter to get that. So that's kind of one of the core parts of the character. So he's not as suited to go up front. He would definitely prefer to be the second or third character on team so he has meter to burn. Conversely, when he has that meter, he's capable of a fair bit more than the average character, as a lot of his EX moves are exceptional. They're very, very good. He gets crumples off his EX shoulder. His EX uppercut, Vertical Macho, is maybe the best EX uppercut in the game because it has full invincibility and also wall bounces giving you combo potential. So he's definitely rewarded for spending that bar. So basically you can argue that an Antonov without bar to spend is maybe not an Antonov worth having, or at the very least not an Antonov fighting at his full potential. So if he's on your team, putting him back so he has that meter to play with is to your benefit. Another very important aspect of team building is who likes max mode. So max mode obviously is tied to meter, right? So it takes 2 bars. So generally the point character, well, they're not going to be a big fan of max mode most of the time. But the other really, really big thing is, besides just the meter investment of max mode, is it's actually scaled. The final character, the anchor character, has a much better max mode than the point or mid characters. So for example here, when you are the point character, you only have 1,000 units of max mode. So you can see here, right? So it's roughly in line with what the super bar is. If you're the second character at bat, you have 1,250 units of max mode. So now, as you can see, the meter is a fair bit longer yet. And when you are the final character, you have 1,500 units of max mode. So 50% more basically than the starting character. So max mode being very strong, like it gives you free EXs, right? Like, it just takes meter, doesn't take any additional bar. It can give you free level 1 supers or discounted level 2 and level 3 supers. The mode is very strong, but the mode is the strongest for the final character. So I'll give you a basic example here of where Anchor Mai, if she was the final character, has much better max mode potential than the other versions if she was on point or on mid. A big thing about max mode is it can make like just, basic pokes a lot more deadly than they ever would be, right? So we'll use this. We're a little further away here and we're just doing crouch jab as a check. And if we get a hit confirm, we go into max mode and then combo out, right? So as the first character, when we go into max mode, we have the smallest bar. So we can get that follow-up, and there's stuff we can do after the fact, yes, for sure, right? But the meter's over, so we got those 2 EXs, that's it. Now, if we're the mid here, we have a bigger max mode to work with, and quick max, when you go into max mode while hitting, is always smaller, right? And same deal here. We can get those 2 EXs, but then the meters run out. But if we're the final and last character, the Anchor, in the same situation we've been doing here, when we do our second EX, we still have a little bit of the max mode left over. And even if you have 1 pixel left of max mode, that means you can still do another EX move or a free level 1 super. So in this situation, we can end with our super and get more damage. And we wouldn't have had this otherwise at all. And this is all off just a basic quick jab, right? So being the Anchor, just having that little bit extra of max mode to work with, gave us a lot more damage at the end of the combo. So keep in mind, on top of the usual who likes to use meter, who can best utilize max mode? As characters that are really good with max mode should be further in the back, and the characters with the best max mode potential should potentially be the Anchor of your team. So now we know the basics of team building, maybe who should go where, but one of the things about King of Fighters is it gives you the option, once you're in the thick of it, before the match starts, to switch up your team order. And this is also very important because we talked about, meter utilization, max mode, optimization, all that kind of stuff. That could fly out the window when you just have a bad match. So presented as it is, Athena versus Clark. Clark is a more traditional grappler, and he has no way to circumvent fireballs other than what the game universally gives you, right? So Athena being a very hard zoner, this could be a very rough match. So you're given the option. We can now take King of Dinosaurs, who can at least destroy projectiles, or Mai, who has very good projectiles herself and much more mobility and screen control. Okay, if we look at it on paper, Clark, this match sucks. I don't want to fight this match. So maybe our synergistic meter stuff is not as optimal as it could be, but I'll have a much better chance of winning the match proper if instead of Clark I use King of Dinosaurs or Mai instead to fight Athena. So don't be afraid to throw out your plans. Like, have a team order you like, but if you see bad matches, this is the whole reason you can switch up your team before the fight starts, because any meter or maximal concerns doesn't outweigh a potential disadvantageous matchup. So if someone's going with a fixed order themselves, don't be afraid to switch it up. So those are just some ideas on the art of team building. And keep in mind, there's no hard and fast rules, and some characters thrive in any possible situation, right? Like someone like an Iori, if you put him up front, he's got great meterless combos, great pokes. If you put him in mid or you put him in the back on an Anchor, he can definitely use all the meter that you give him. His combo potential goes through the roof. So a character like an Iori does good everywhere. That said though, certain characters definitely lend themselves to certain positions. Someone like a Shermie. Shermie has amazing pokes, some of the best in the game. And while she can use meter, if you give her 5 meters, other than just doing super after super after super, she wouldn't really know what to do with it, right? So she's more suited to like a point character or a mid character, but as an Anchor, maybe not so much. Same thing like a Maxima. Maxima has big armor normals, his combo structure is very simple, he doesn't need 5 bars of meter to go. So he's another character that'd probably be better up at point or mid. Conversely, as we talked about, someone like Antonov. Antonov, a lot of the strengths of the character lies in his metered moves. And without having access to those metered moves, he's not as strong of a character as he could be. So putting him mid or Anchor is much more advantageous to you. Same deal with someone like Robert. Robert, he certainly isn't bad up front, but a lot of what makes Robert special is he can just easily combo everything into everything into everything. And the more meter you give him, the crazier his combo potential gets. And that helps out big time. Also, he has really good EX moves, and he wouldn't mind using them in neutral, so if you give him bar to work with, he'll spend it like it's candy. A very long time ago, it was presented to me as this. The characters that are your point characters in any given King of Fighters game, they're playing Street Fighter. They're fighting with the basics. They're fighting with just what they got. But the characters that are the anchor characters that have all the meter to play with, they're playing Marvel versus Capcom. Because all of a sudden, the combo potential, all the special moves flying everywhere, the damage especially, it just goes through the roof. A character with 5 bars can, in a lot of situations, realistically do 90% to just straight up death in a single touch. So meter is options and damage in this game. So the characters in the back, you want them to be the ones that can utilize it the best. So that all said, now that we're approaching the end of the video, in the end, do absolutely what you like, right? If it feels right to you, that trumps anything else. But just keep in mind, there is a little bit of a science to putting your team together and the order they should go in. This isn't a tag game, right? So you don't need to worry about like assist synergy or anything like that. But the general order is definitely important in the end. That all said, my friends, well, now we're at the end of the video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some King of Fighters.
Yeah.